Okay, this is example 12.9 from our textbook. You have already learned what needs to be done. Look at the arrangement here. The arrangement in the figure 12.12. This is figure 12.12. Right in front of you, R1 is 10 ohms, R2 is 40 ohms, R3 is 30 ohms, R4 is 20 ohms, and R5 is 60 ohm. There are 5 resistors of different values. Look at them properly. How are they arranged? Parallel. Okay, they are arranged in parallel system, right? Parallel arrangement. So how will you find out? What will you find out? So they are telling calculate total resistance and the total current flowing in the circuit. First, you need to find the total resistance. Then you can find the current. Because to find current, you should know the unknown values. The unknown is resistance. What is the voltage? 12 volt. The question says, the given figure, look at the given figure. These are the 5 resistors, your R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5 of five different values. They are connected to a 12 volt battery. So where's your battery? This is your battery, right? The potential difference across the positive and the negative ends of the battery is how much? 12 volt, right? So you have to find the total resistance. How will you find it? So how to start solving this? Part A. Okay, all are arranged in parallel. What some people do is they calculate the total resistance of the first two, then they calculate the total resistance of the last three. That can also be done. Or else everything is in parallel, so you can do it together, right? So you can say RP. But is it just RP, resistors in parallel? No. You should write 1 by RP. It's the reciprocal. Okay, remember that. So 1 by RP should be equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4 plus 1 by R5. Okay, 1 by R5. How will you do this? Okay, how will you do this? You'll just write down the values. Start replacing the values. Okay, start replacing the values over here. What is R1? Value of R1 is 10 ohms. Just replace that. Okay, then what else do you have? 1 by R2. What is R2? 40. Right? What is R3? 30. What is R4? 20. What is R5? 60. What is the LCM of all of them? We have to take the LCM, right? So how do you take it up? So let me tell you one thing. The LCM of 10 and 40 can be 40, right? But the LCM of 30, 20, and 60 can be how much? 30. So what is the LCM of 40 and 60? What will be the LCM of it? What do you think? It is going to be? I could hear some music. Okay, that was not from my end. All right. So that will get recorded, okay? The meeting is getting recorded. The music is also getting recorded, okay? All right. So now 40 and 60, right? Let me also switch off. Not switch off, I'll just put my phone on silent, okay? 1 second. Yeah, done. Okay, so what is the LCM? Quickly, 40 and 60. Tell me fast. LCM of 40, 60, 60, 40, how much? It should be 1. Yes, 20. Very good. Okay, so I'm not doing this. You already know how to do it. I've just written it simply. Okay, you know how to do this, right? Okay, so 120. So what will be the next answer? Now you already know, just like fractions, you will do it. The LCM is 120. Okay, 10. It is 10. How will you make it 120 multiplied by 12? Right, so it will be 12 plus 40 into 3 is 120, right? So 3 plus 30 into 4 is 120 plus 20 into 6 is 120 and 60 into 2 is 120. So 12 plus 3, 15 plus 4, 19 plus 6, 25. Okay. And after that, plus 2, 27. So 27 times, 27 upon 120 is your answer. Okay. 27 upon 120, you can again recheck it. 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 3, 13. Sorry, 12 plus 3, 15, 15 plus 12. 27 is correct. 27 and 120 both are divisible by 3, right? So how to do that? You can just divide them by 3. So you'll get a 9 upon 40. Can you still divide it further? No, we can't, right? So what's the answer? What's the answer? If you do 9 by 40, you can do it in calculator, but do not use calculator. That's better. So just use normally. That will be more than enough. 90, 41s are, sorry, 42s are 80. Okay. 10, 100. So 42, you can't do 3. So you can just do this. Okay. So 80 again. So you keep getting like this. Okay. 0.22, something like this. 0.22. You can recheck in the calculator, no problem. But first try to do it. Let me just recheck it. Just because it's decimals. So I'm trying to check it out. Just to be sure. Okay. 9 upon 40. 225, 0.225. So up to 3 decimals they have written that you get. That should be a answer. Okay. All right. Ampere. Sorry, not ampere. This is ohms. Okay. 9 by 40. So basically your answer should be 40 by 9 actually. Okay. So your answer should be 40 by 9. Why? Because it's reciprocal. Okay. It's reciprocal. So you should not do this. Okay. That's what I wanted to see. How many of you are understanding this? 9 by 40 is 1 by RP. Then what is RP? 40 by 9. Okay. Now do this. This will be how much? 9 4s are 36. Okay, let's do this. 40 by 9. 9 4s are 36. Again, you are getting 40. So 4.4. Okay. 4.4 ohms. Up to 1 decimal. Okay, 9 4s are 36. 4. And then again 36. 4. So it keeps going on. That's all. So this is your resistance in parallel. This is your final answer. Check it out, okay? What if I write it and if it's a mistake, right? So please check out and tell me whether it's correct or not. If it's correct, that's great. If it's incorrect, put it in the chat or use your audio and tell me, okay? All right, next. You need to find total current. Okay, how will you find that? Same method. Total current. According to Ohm's law, what is Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. So you have the total resistance, you have the total voltage, you find out I. V by R. So instead of R, it is V by RP. Okay. This is division. Okay. Slash. It's a division. So what is voltage? 12. What is the resistance? 4.4. So you'll get something very close to 3 point something. Okay. Let's do that. If you want to remove the decimal, you can also remove the decimal. So it will become 120 by 44, right? If you remove the decimal, so 120 by 44. Okay. So it's a 44 threes are. Can you try out? Let's see. 4 threes are 12. 12 plus 130. No, it will be too much. We can't try that out. So 44 threes are. If you do, it will not be possible. It will be 132. So you can't try. So you'll try 2s are. 44 2s are. or 44 times 2, 88. 10 minus 2, 8. 12 becomes 11. I mean, 2 becomes 1. So it'll be, that will become 11. So it should be 3. And then you'll have to put a 0, then put a decimal. Okay, 44. Now 8 fours is a 32. So will this work out? 44 eights are, we'll try. 32 plus 3, 35. It's more. It won't work out, right? Then what will you do? 44. Very good. Yes, 2.3. Yes, it will work out. Okay. Sorry, not 2.3. 2.7, no? Something like that it should be. 44 eights are we did, right? So 44 into 7 we will do then. Okay. Yeah, this will work out. Okay. If you have already got the answer, very good. Okay, no problem. Then 12 will be your remaining answer here. Then if you want, you can just do it again. So it will be 2.72, something like this. Okay. Is it correct? Check it out. Check it out. I'm also going to verify this. Okay. Ampere. Done. Now we'll go to the next concept. Okay. Next concept. Yes. Tell me. Let me just check this. Okay. All right. So 40 by 9 was 4.44. That is correct. So we got 12 divided by 4.4. Right. So 2.72 is correct. Okay. Very good. I have just taken only one decimal there in 4.4. You can take 4.44. There's a chat. Yes, 2.727. 2 to 3 decimals is more than enough. Do not go beyond that. Why? The reason is in science, okay, in science, they won't check too much. In maths, when you're doing rational and irrational numbers, right? At that time, you have to give all the decimal expansions, the terminating and non-terminating. But this is not that. Here, you can just give 1 or 2 decimals. It's more than enough. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next concept. What is the next concept? Heating effects of electrical current. Okay, heating effects of electrical current. I'm just erasing this stuff so that we have space. Let's scroll down and let's understand. Now we are going to learn about applications. We learned about series, we learned about parallel. Okay, what is the disadvantage of series connection, right? Why should we arrange it in parallel? We didn't see that. So today we will see that. Okay. Disadvantages of series connection of the resistors. Why we can't connect the resistors in series? What is the disadvantage? So the first disadvantage is that in a series connection, what happens? Current remains same, right? Current flow is constant through what? Through each device. Okay. So through each device, you can just take that like conductor, or let's say it can be a conductor, it can be a resistor, anything. I'm talking about generally any device. In a series connection, what happens? All the devices that you connect, what will happen? Current flow is constant, right? But suppose a fan is a device. Fan requires lot of energy or lot of power for it to run. And what if a TV requires less electrical power? So will it be good to connect all the different appliances? So instead of using the word device, we can use appliances or electrical gadgets. All the electrical gadgets require different amount of electrical energy to operate. Okay, they cannot work on the same energy, so we cannot connect them in series, right? All cannot take the same current, so that's a disadvantage in series connection. In parallel connection, what happens? Voltage is same, but current flow is different in all the devices. Like we have different size of the fingers in our hand, the same thing. Okay, so that's why it is best to arrange it in parallel. Yes, it loses more energy or it expends more energy, but the energy which it loses, no, that can be taken as a advantage, which we will see. Okay, to produce more and more heat, which we will see. Let us write this down, the disadvantages first. Okay, so I'll just remove this word called apply, device, and I will just write down it properly. Through each electrical appliance, that will be a better word. Okay, electrical appliance. Like, instead of giving conductor and resistor, you can just say electric heater. Electric heater requires lot of energy. Okay, geyser, fan, etc. So they require different, not just energy, I mean the electrical current. Okay, all right, but these appliances require different amount of energy. Okay, they require different amount of energy to operate. Okay, so that is a disadvantage, and hence parallel system of arrangement is efficient. Okay, parallel system of arrangement, sorry, that's A. Yeah, arrangement is more beneficial, you can say, for them. Okay, they can operate at whatever current they want to. What is the next disadvantage? So there are two major disadvantages. The second disadvantage is that in a series connection, one of the appliances, suppose if the fan stops working, fan is not going to work at all, then what will happen if I have a series connection? Then my bulb will also stop working. It will collapse. If one of the electrical appliance fails, the circuit will be broken. That is a very big disadvantage, and it's very harmful. So what happens in a series connection? Sorry. Okay, write it a little properly. That's a bit difficult to write, but that's okay. On the board, that's okay. Yeah, it's not that neat, but that's manageable. So in a series connection, what happens? All the appliances, okay, are arranged one beside the other. So because of this, what happens? If any of the appliances fail, if any one of them stops working because of the power failure, okay, or one of them collapses, right, because of short circuit, or anything can happen, right, collapses, okay, then the whole system or the whole arrangement will collapse. That is a very big disadvantage. Okay, will collapse. But in parallel, it won't. Fan is connected to a particular amount of current. Fan requires a particular amount of current. Geyser requires a separate amount of current. So they both are in parallel. Even if the fan stops working, geyser will still work. That's what happens in our homes also. If one of the tube lights stops working, if that fuses away, the other one will still work. the other one will still work, right? So that's why what you will say, that's why you will say that hence parallel combination, okay, is much more advantageous. Okay, it's much more advantageous. Okay, you know why it is advantageous, why this, I mean, why is it important to use? Okay, all right, done with this. Now we will go back to heating effects of electrical current, why it loses energy, what can that energy be used for. Okay, so let's understand heating effects. I'm going to make a flow chart, okay, to explain you heating effects of electric current. So what can this be related to? So first, what happens is, basically, let's take an example of a battery or a cell. If you take cell is just one single component. Battery is a combination of cells. So as I said, I'll draw a kind of flow chart. So let me use different colors for it. So what we will do is, battery has how many terminals? 2 terminals, right? So suppose if I write a battery or a cell is a source of which kind of energy? Electrical energy, right? Because electricity is produced, and that electricity is a form of energy only, right? Is a source of electrical, okay, energy. Okay, now what will happen here? How will this electrical energy be produced? There will be some chemical reaction that will take place inside a cell, because they have positive and negative terminals, right? So what is the next step? The next process that will take place will be chemical reactions take place. Okay, take place. The cathode, anode, something like that. But that is in electrolytes, that's not in your physics. But just I'm telling, positive and negative terminals. Okay, chemical reactions take place where? Inside the cell, or that's a C, okay, C, cell or a battery. If you feel that looks like A, I will just rewrite it, okay, because it might look, because even I was feeling like that, that's why. Inside the cell or battery, then what happens? Because of the chemical reactions, electrons will get some movement. Electrons will start moving here and there. Because of the flow of electrons, what is produced? Charge is produced. Because of the production of charge, current is produced, right? That's the way it works. Okay, so chemical reactions take place. Now after that, I'll use a different color. After this, what happens? The electrons movement takes place for the production of what? Charge. Okay, then what happens after the charge is produced? We will write down here that this charge which is getting produced, will nothing but will cause the current to flow. Okay, see, what is current? It's nothing but flow of charge at a particular point of time. Q by T is your charge. Sorry, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so charge is nothing but it will produce it will cause the current to flow. Okay, Next, what happens? When the charge is helping the flow of current, now this current will help us to light the bulb, to switch on the TV, to switch on, the fans, any electrical appliance operates on electricity. So the flow of current is nothing but the flow of, the current to flow, or you can just write electricity. Electricity. Okay, all right. Next arrow will be for the use of the electrical energy. So your electrical energy is getting converted into this thing, chemical energy, and then that heat is getting produced, movement of electrons, so charge is getting produced, etc. So many things are there. Okay, now what you will write next, you will write here this electrical, so I'm just trying to draw a flow chart here. Okay, so this electrical energy or electricity, okay, properly, yeah, electricity helps in the, let's say, operation of electrical appliances, not the operation. I just meant it operates it. So that was the best word to use. Okay, it's nothing related to your surgery or operation. Okay, all right. In the operation of electrical, because that word is a little bit dangerous to be used there. Okay, in the operation of electrical devices. Okay, like you can give examples like fan, okay, TV, bulb, AC, anything you can write, okay, etc. Many electrical appliances. Next will be for, now what happens is, we know that this electrical energy is used for operating what? Different devices, right? This is one of the use of heating effect of electrical current. Now what happens if the if the heat is more and more? Mahashri wrote in the chat that it loses more energy. So energy is nothing but a form of heat. We studied in the first chapter, right? Energy can be in the form of heat, light, right? That's possible. So this electrical energy is nothing but it's a form of heat again. So what happens if you switch on the fan, let's say in the morning at 7 a.m., right? When you start attending school, maybe 8 a.m. Okay, and till 1 or 2 p.m., imagine the fan just keeps operating continuously. It keeps running continuously from 8 a.m., let's say till 2 to 3 p.m. Just imagine the fan will become completely heated up a lot. The fan will, rise its temperature. The temperature of the fan will rise. The heat will be more. It will become warm. If you touch it, it will become warm. Even if you use the phone for a long period of time, phone also becomes warm. Why? Because lot of electrical energy is applied. Now, phone doesn't operate on electrical energy. That has a different concept. Let's not get into that. We are not learning computer science to develop Android, etc. Right? So, it was just an example of any electrical device. Phone is an electrical device, but it just gets charged. So there's a battery inside phone also. So it can happen because of the battery, right? Chemical reaction. So what happens when there is a lot of heat production? What we do is that heat, okay, we can just write the excess heat or energy, okay, getting generated through these, these electrical appliances, okay, will do what? So if you have a lot of heat or the energy, which gets generated through these electrical appliances, then what will happen? It will it be helpful? I mean, it will helpful. It will be helpful in raising the temperature. That's all. Okay, will raise the temperature. Raise the temperature, or so we can't write rise the temperature because that will not be a good word to use. Rise the temperature you can write, but not with this word or not with this sentence. Okay, with this sentence, raise the temperature of what? Of those devices, of whatever you are using. Okay, of the appliances that you are using. So these are the two effects of electric current. Now you will tell me that the bulb or the tube lights, right? Let's take bulb. A bulb, if you keep a bulb switched on for a long period of time, there'll be a lot of heat. The bulb will become hot. Just try touching it once. Okay, the glass of the bulb will be too hot. Then how is it managing you to give the light even if it's too hot? Because of a metal called as tungsten metal, right? The tungsten metal or the filament, see, the tungsten can have around 3800 degrees Celsius. I mean, close to that. We'll learn about that, don't worry. So the tungsten has so much of power to hold the electricity. Somewhere about 3000 degrees Celsius is the temperature of that small tungsten metal. Okay, so that's why it can withstand so much of heat. Tube lights are also of the same concept, but then since tube light has a little bit of different arrangement, we have not yet seen that in the textbook. In the textbook, they have just given the example of tungsten, which is used inside the bulb. You also have this 0-watt bulbs. What is the meaning of watt? What is the unit of power? Which we will learn now how to derive that. Okay, so these are the two important things. Let us underline this. These are the heating effects. Okay, these are the heating effects. Based on these effects, you have some practical applications. What are those practical applications? That will lead you to the, we will derive all those things. Okay, so these are the two important things. This thing and this thing. Okay, done. Now let's derive few things. Okay, I will scroll down a little bit. Yeah, so imagine a lot of heat is generated, right? Basically, if just give me 1 second, let me write it here. Suppose what can be written here? Heat or energy. Okay, it's nothing but it is the total amount of work. This is the total amount of work done in time, in some time, in a particular time. I'll just write that as a definition. Okay, in a particular time, Okay, now how to derive it? Let's understand one thing. Let I be the current. I stands for current. V be the voltage. So current flows. So let I be the current flowing. Okay, we should always write like that. This is a comma. V can be what? V can be what? The electric potential difference. Okay, it can be the potential difference across terminals of the battery. Potential difference. Okay, so we have I, we have V. Let Q be the charge. Let T be the time. And let W be the work done. Okay, these are the things that we have. Now what I'm going to write here, I'm not taking R, if you want, you can even take R, the resistance, which we will need anyways. So we are deriving some formulas of heating effects. Okay. R is the resistance. Done. Okay. And let P be the power. Okay. Now we will see, suppose we'll write here, suppose, Q amount of charge, Q amount of, sorry, 1 second. Q amount of charge, sorry, charge, CHARG, charge flows through the battery. See, some charge will flow through the battery, okay, because of electrons. Flows through the terminals. That's RMINALs, terminals of battery or cell. Okay, in time t. In time t. How much will be the work done to move that charge from one place to the other? You need to write that. Okay. Okay. Right. So hence, the work done. Let me write it properly. The work done to move that charge. Okay. To move the charge. Charge is nothing but your electrons only. Okay. Because of that only you're getting the charge. Okay. It's just that you are denoting it by a different letter, which is Q. That's all. Okay. Let the work done be nothing but to move the charge from one point or one place to the other place, or one point to another point. So how will you write this? What will be the potential difference? Then the potential difference is expressed as, okay, potential difference is what? V is equal to what? Excuse me. WQ. Work done to move the charge, right? It will be WQ. Okay. Done. Is it correct? No, it's not correct. Why? It's not exactly WQ. The work done is nothing but, let me tell you what it is. The work done you have to write, okay? And I have written the potential difference. So that is wrong. Yes. My voice is breaking. Okay. So is it breaking for all of you? Or is it just one or two people? Is it still breaking? Just let me know. Or, okay, if it is breaking, I will just switch my video off for a few minutes. Then let me know. Is it still breaking? No. Sachin says no. What about Gautami? Okay. Mahashri, no. Okay, better. Okay, so let it be switched off for some time. No worries. We'll just derive all this. Okay. All right. So yeah, what was I trying to say you over here is nothing but we are talking about potential difference, the work done to move a charge. Okay, so how will you write this? Now that is my question. Okay, how will you write this? So you can write it like this. Let me just erase this part a little bit. Yes. Let me take another color. Yes. Tell me, my dear kids, how will you write it? Okay. Anybody, anything who would like to tell me? Or shall I just write it down? Okay, I'll just write it down. If you have any answer, do let me know. Okay. Yes. So how will you write this? So basically your V will actually be equal to nothing but it will be this thing. The work done. Okay. The work done in moving the charge, right? So V will be actually equal to what? Work is W, V is the potential difference. Then what else it will be? Then what else it will be? Yes. Tell me. It will be W by Q, okay? It will not be W into Q, it will be W by Q, okay? This will be the correct equation, okay? This will be the correct equation. Okay, now from here we will scroll down. And we can also write the work done is nothing but VQ or QV, right? Now, what is Q? We know that Q is nothing but the flow of what? Charge, right? So Q itself is the flow of charge. So, sorry, we know that Q is what? Flow of charge. Okay, flow of charge or electrons, right? Now, what is V? V can also be expressed as nothing but what? I into R, which we will use it later. Okay, which we will use it later. Okay, so right now, no need to use this part, otherwise you'll get confused. Let this be the equation. Okay, let this be the equation. Okay, this is the first thing that we have. Oh, sorry. Yes. This is the first thing that we have. So now tell me what happens after this. See, you are doing some work in moving the charge, which is equal to VQ, right? Now, let me tell you what is the work done in some time. Work done is known as power. So let P be the power dissipated, okay, in doing some work, work in time T, okay, in time T. So what is power? You know, power is nothing but heat. What is heat? It is equal to energy. So all these three terms are the most important things. Okay. All right. So these are the things that we will study about. Now we will replace few things. So this is equal to nothing but, see, power is nothing but some work in time T. So W by T is what? Your power, right? Very good. So power is W by T. So you can also write W as power into time, rate of doing work. See, power is nothing but rate of doing work. Okay. In other words, you can just write rate of doing work in time T. In time T. This much is done. Let us underline all these important things, how we are deriving it. Okay. Now use W is equal to P into T in the first equation. Okay. Kindly use this. Okay. So you will write substitute equation 2 in equation 1. What is your equation 1? W is equal to VQ. So what will you substitute? Instead of W, you will substitute P into T. It's P into T, which is equal to VQ. Okay, very good. Yes, you can do that. Or else, if you want, you can substitute, yeah, I think this should be fine. You can substitute it in this way also. Or if you want, you could have substituted W as VQ. Anything is fine. Okay, anything is fine. Substitute equation 1 and 2. I think that will be better. Let us do it the other way to make it more easier for you. Okay, otherwise you might get confused. So instead of substituting equation 2 in 1, I will substitute 1 in 2. Okay, in place of this thing, your W. Okay, in place of P, I will substitute this thing. I mean, in place of P, I can substitute either W by T, or else what you can do is you are substituting equation 1 in 2, right? So what is equation 1? VQ, right? VQ. So substitute here in this equation. Okay, in this equation. This is your equation 2. Both are equation 2 here. So let us write P is equal to W by T. We'll substitute W as VQ or QV. Okay, done. This much is done. This much is done. If you have any doubts, do let me know. Okay. All right. Next, what you will do is, you know that voltage is nothing but V and Q by T is I. See, also our I is equals to Q by T. Our I is equals to Q by T here, right? So this is equation 3. Now we will substitute equation 3 where? In the equation, okay, one second. This can be equation 3 and this can be 4. Whatever new things you take, let that be a new one. Let this be 4, let this be 3. So replace or substitute, replace equation 4 in 3.
Ma'am,
How
how
will
will
you
you replace them, ma'am?
Sorry, please tell me. Can you repeat your question?
Ma'am, in equation 3, how did QV by T came, ma'am?
How is P is equal to C? Okay. So your question is, see, let me just explain you one thing here. Let me scroll up. Yes. V is equal to Q, W by Q. The potential difference is nothing but the work done in moving a charge. Okay. From here, I'm getting my V as, V is equal to W by Q. So if I rearrange W will be VQ. Work done is nothing but power. Rate of doing some work or the work done in some time T is what? Power. So power is nothing but work by time, right? You know that. What is power? Power is work by time. So which is W by T here. Okay, it is W by T here. Okay, in this equation, I am substituting, this is my equation 2. In this equation, I'm substituting W as VQ. Okay, so I'm getting QV by T or VQ by T. That becomes my equation number 3. Okay, and then I also know that current is flow of charge in some time. Flow of charge is denoted by Q. So if I is equal to Q by T, I will replace equation 4 in 3. Okay, then what will happen? P will remain P instead of Q by T. So you can write Q by T separately multiplied by V. So what is Q by T? It is I. So you will get I into V or V into I, right? This is the formula of power. Power is voltage into current. This is equation 5. I know there are so many equations, but this is how you have to understand. So if you understand this, no, there's one more formula that we will do it in the next class. Okay, and we are done with the chapter. The electric power, you know, the units of it. Okay, that will be the last one. So we are actually learning what, you know, Joule's law of heating. I'm going to derive that. That's why I'm doing it. Okay, done. Now, what is power? Power is nothing but work done. Work done. This work done is nothing but in operating electrical appliances, which is giving us heat, which is also equal to energy. So replace P by H, heat. Heat is also nothing but power into time. Power into time. Okay. Basically, this much of power in this much of time. Basically, your heat, which is generated, will be nothing but power, into time. Okay, PT. In some point of time, this much power is generated. That is your heat. Okay. So replace P by H. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, do not worry about that. Work done, power, heat, it's the same thing. It's just time is a factor here. That's all. So I'm just highlighting all of them here. Okay. So yes, equation 5 we have. You understood till there? Mahashri, Gautami, and Sachin. Tell me before I move ahead. Please tell me any kind of doubts. Sachin, Gautami, and Mahashri.
No, ma'am.
No doubts. Gautami says no doubts. Sachin, any doubts? Sachin? No doubts. Okay. So what happens after this? Gautami says no. Okay, Gautami, great. So what else we will do here? Now we will apply Ohm's law. Apply Ohm's law to equation number 5. See, just remember one thing. I'll tell you again if you have any doubts. The voltage is calculated by the potential difference. Potential difference is nothing but when the charge Q is nothing but calculated when the electrons are moving, right? And they are also doing some work, right? They are also doing some work. So if you see the equation above, W by Q instead of Q by W, I've written it, in the opposite thing. It is W by Q, okay? Okay, Q is what? Q is charge, right? So Q by T is how much? I. So this is the voltage, right? Now what is power? Power is nothing but the work done by time. What is work? Work can be taken from here, V into Q, right? So you can just write VQ by T. Then Q by T is how much? I, right? So what is power? Power is VI. Apply Ohm's law. Apply Ohm's law. What is you are going to apply? Okay. So you said power is V into I, and power is also heat generated. P into T is heat generated, right? So how would you do this? It will be nothing but if you apply Ohm's law to V, the voltage, it will be IR. You're replacing few things. Okay, voltage is nothing but IR. So it will become I square R. Okay, it will become I square R. So that is what it is going to become. So let me rewrite it and then we will end this. So there's one small thing left, the formula of electric power in the watts, and then we have numericals on this. So we are almost done with your chapter. Let me take a bigger eraser. Erase it fast. Yeah. Let me write the final formula by applying Ohm's law. What do you get here? Okay. 1 second. That will be the last one. Okay. That will be the last one. So, okay. So let us write down about heat. H is heat. Heat is equal to P into T, power into time. Let us write this. Okay. Let this be equation 6. Okay. Let this be equation 6. So what is power? Power is VI, right? So H is equal to VI into T. Why? P is equal to VI from equation 5, right? Okay. Next, we will highlight this and also highlight this. It's the same thing. And then what you will do is apply Ohm's law to it. Applying Ohm's law to equation number 5. Sorry, not 5, equation number 6, I mean. Equation 6. This is also 6. It's the same thing. Power is nothing but VI, okay? And time is time. So apply Ohm's law to equation 6. Heat will be equal to V. Instead of V, you will write I into R. Again, you have I, and then again you have T. So what did you do? You have replaced V as IR. Okay, in equation 6. You did that. This is your equation number 7. The final equation is equation number 7 here. Okay. This is how you will get it. What is this called as? Joule's law of heating. How many times I is coming? 2 times. So it will become I square, right? I to the power 2, I square in maths, right? This is what we have learned. I square RT. What is this? Joule's law of heating. Joule's law of heating, given by the scientist Joule. Of heating. What is the SI unit of heat? Joules only, no? That's why. That's why it is called as Joule's law of heating. Let us highlight this also, okay? Can I use a different color for highlighting? Let me check. Yeah. I think yellow is the best. Okay. I square RT. Okay, done. We have 1 or 2 more formulas of power. We will see how to use that in the next class. And we'll discuss questions in the next class because we are done. We just have numerical questions. I think 4 to 5 numerical questions. Maybe not 4 to 5 at least. I think 4 at least. And then exercise questions and textbook questions. That's all. We are done. Okay. All right. Any kind of doubts? No doubts? Joule's law of heating? Mahashri and Gautami, no doubts?